to have this physical exchange, and also to get to know each other, because that helped us to better structure the project and also to identify where are the potential risks and how we can find and come to the solution. So first of all, I would like to ask Mr. Štefanić, who is here present in front of the TERA TEHNOPOLIS as our host today, to maybe address the whole audience and tell us a few words about it, about TERA TEHNOPOLIS and of everything.
Okay, I have a long speech prepared, but
no, I would just short that you will have later time for long speech.
I know that. Welcome to Object. If you need any assistance, please let us know. I hope we will be able to comment if you wish. Procedure is very simple. We go as we find in our agenda. We have lunch with TERA to the room. 1700 hours. We have dinner, special dinner for a very famous place. And that was actually a wish of some participants, and we are happy we were able to have it. We're going to see very special legendary place. Very famous in the 60s of the last century, destroyed during the war, and rebuilt and reopened just this week. Cool place. I hope you will enjoy it. Our program today, it will be our program. We've got only a slot from 17 to 8 p.m. Only available for such a large group. So maybe on the way moving on. Tomorrow we have a tackle. Enjoy the meeting. Yeah, Ivana.
Yes, for the hosts are here, so you already know the facilities. Where is the restroom? Just a little bit down the hall. We are not going to have a coffee break, but we will work until lunch. Then we will have short break here for lunch to grab some snack. And as Mr. Štefanić said, we are going for early lunch, so this is why we didn't want that we have heavy lunch, because all of us know then it's impossible to work after that. So because we know each other virtually, and also we know some of you in person, we would like to that each of the partners present here in short presents what they are doing in the project. Also, we ask the partners who have digital solutions to quickly present you what is their solution for, and during the day and even tomorrow you will have more chance to talk with all of us directly. We definitely, especially in the next session, have the things that we want to discuss with you about the rights of the platform, and also what was our idea, what we found beneficial. We identified stakeholders in the region who were doing similar things and how did they find the solution. So in the second half of morning's meeting, we are going to be online connected with Agri-Food hub from Slovenia, because 8 years ago they started the digital market, and we find what they have developed that can be very beneficial also for our solution, especially in the city of Metković, because they have found the questions and they have found the solutions for things that we identified during the preparation phase when we were doing the mirror exercise. So I would like first to give the floor to the city of Metković. I think Ms. Lara Šiljak will present in short the virtual marketplace. Lara, your presentation is here.
Yes.
Okay.
Može. Evo ovo sve stek.
Može. Like.
Kako je prepostavljeno? Ima F5.
Ima 3. To. Aha, to
No, yeah. It's nice to meet you all again. My name is Lara Šiljeg, and I'm working for the city of Metković as Senior Associate for Project Cycle Management. I worked for the city 5 years, but I have experience in absorption of European funds for almost 17 years. But Horizon is novelty and a new challenge for all of us. I will tell you something more, but very concise, about virtual marketplace and digital market. For example, technological innovation, globalization, and social modernization led to economic stability and population in some rural areas, but not in all of them. That is an example of Dubrovnik-Neretva County, which faced a demographic and economic decline. The need of rural areas is to be empowered and have a vibrant local institution and sustainable food system. Sustainable food systems are also full of potential to meet consumer demands for organic farming and regional food system, which will in turn create more jobs. I read a wonderful sentence 2 months ago said by President of European Commission, and the sentence is: rural areas are core part of our identity and our economic potential, the fabric of our society and the heartbeat of our community or economy. Let's see. The main goal of dRural is to develop and implement a digital solution that delivers multiple services to rural citizens and creating opportunities for economic growth and quality of life improvements. To become the service marketplace of reference for European rural areas, to empower local communities, enabling a broad range of stakeholders and networks, and will be developed by design approach to ethics, privacy, and data protection. The role of City of Metković is to address our local ecosystem with the most messages and tools by exploitation of project results. Our role is to raise awareness, ensuring project visibility. Engage with stakeholders, which is local community, farmers, and SMEs, to work on boosting sustainability, to target key messages, to inform key stakeholders about aims and expected dRural results, and those key messages will be defined on local level. The concept of marketplace is to build an easy-to-use platform, to address the new focus for retailers, to have convenience on online shopping, to deliver always fresh and fruit vegetables, to be created in explosive growth during COVID-19 pandemic, to achieve better distribution of products and accessibility to end consumer, to have variety of products and technology playing a key part in improved digital literacy in rural areas. Long-term benefits of marketplace, virtual marketplace, it's to digitalize the process need to digitalize catalog of fruit and vegetable business, to offer detailed information about products, logistics, orders, and deliveries, to offer transparency to customers taking pictures of products, vegetables, and fruits that reflects what our consumers will receive when buying products at marketplace, to establish the bond of trust between both parties, to create a digital or virtual marketplace that will become an important outlet for fruit products. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated this trend, especially fruit and vegetable sales, with an urgent need for fresh and quality products. To create sustainable food system, marketplace, and diversification of economic activities, which is based by sustainable local economic strategies that make their environment attractive to companies, and of course to extend digital literacy of local community. As you can see, these are some links to similar projects in Croatia. Kupuj domaće, WP tržnica, Tržnica Tugosel. These are digital markets in Croatia, which is not novelty, but it's novelty in Dubrovnik-Neretva County. This is also one example. I believe, I cannot see which one, Agro-Tržnica. That will be all of us. My role in this project is to coordinate the project activities with other members of City of Metković. We do also employ two people, new people. One of them is Niko Bojbaša.
I'm Niko Bojbaša. I'm a digital platform manager for the virtual marketplace. This is my second project funded by European Union, and I'm very glad to be part of it. So I'm looking forward to our future cooperation.
And also we have employed coordinator for dissemination, communication, and visibility activities. But unfortunately, he's not here with us today. Thank you very much.
I'll call Ms. Ana Giros, who will present in front of City of Metković, Healthcare Center Metković, the virtual waiting room. So you will have opportunity to talk with both of them during today. And also because we know what they want, and we are now not only since the project started, but even before the project started, we just had quite a clear idea where and what we want to do. And this this enabled us to develop the solution, and that maybe, as we heard, thank you for that we are more advanced than other partners. But what we think that in next meeting with all the partners, we would like to share our experience, because maybe this can help them to see what the steps that have to be taken. For example, what Lara did not mention, but Mr. Pulic, who is from Dubrovnik-Neretva County, was on our meeting in late July last year. We had a workshop with stakeholders, and we realized that we are going to have quite a lot of challenges, because actually they said, yes, we are interested, but we are not sure if this is going to work. So this was for us helpful to make a strategy how to overcome that, because intention is that really the platform works and that's Croatian part of the platform. And we have TERA TEHNOPOLIS, who is really expert in that and has broad knowledge how to manage the platforms. We see that we can be a good example of sustainability after the project end. So I will give words to Ms. Ana Giros. Unfortunately, the director of Healthcare Center Metković could not be present today with us because he's engaged in some other urgent matter. But Ana was the person who works for them and was involved from early stage in the preparation. So she will be very brief, because we are limited with time, about what is the idea for the healthcare center.
Thank you, Ivana. So now I don't have to introduce myself. Welcome to my presentation of virtual waiting room on behalf of Health Center Metković. Okay, so why is Health Center Metković so important? It's because it's distance to the nearest hospitals. For instance, for Metković, if you are a patient, if you want to go to some, I don't know, examination to the hospital in Dubrovnik, you need to go over than 100 kilometers. And to the hospital in Split, you have to go around 135 kilometers. So that's a really big problem. Another problem is that if you are going to the city, to the hospital in Dubrovnik, then you have also passed the part of the territory in another country's territory. So that's also a big problem, and it takes a lot of time. So that's why Health Center Metković, apart from general practitioners, has also gynecological dispensers, pediatric dispensaries, a maternity department, a hemodialysis department. They also do palliative care, and they have X-ray and ultrasound cabinets. For that said, we can also already see that they are workloaded, and they have really so much stuff to do. Around 1,000 patients goes through the Health Center Metković per day. So what's the current situation? Right now, if you want to, I don't know, make an appointment, you need everything goes via telephone. So you have to call a center. You have to even call maybe 2 to 6 times to even, you know, get the nurse on the phone or doctor, because the telephone lines are simply overloaded. Because of that, medical staff, it's not so well organized. It takes a lot of time for them to take that calls. And right now, when you make an appointment, they have like a paper and they just write on a piece of paper your appointment. So they are really not digitalized at all. And that all leads to great satisfaction of all system users. So what are we trying to achieve here? We are trying, firstly, reduce the crowds in the waiting rooms. We are trying to make like more efficient organization of medical staff. We are trying to make administrative relief on family medicine physicians, primarily on them. We are trying to improve the healthcare because e-healthcare is like more important every day. We are trying to improve the ability to monitor patient health and prevent, detect, and treat and manage disease. We are also trying to improve the satisfaction of all the system users, and after all, test and demonstrate new tools for e-health. So what is the entire concept? Here you can see some steps. For example, when patient wants to make an appointment, he will open an application, and then he will need to enter some basic personal information such as name and surname, his personal health number, his email, phone, and so on. And the system will remember those data for future logins. Then the next step is the reason for contact, and that is the most important reason, because then the patient will be able to choose, does he maybe need just go to do some blood sampling, or he needs to do a whole examination for the first time, or maybe he just needs to pick up some certificates and so on. So depending on the reason for the contact, a customized data entry will form. For example, if I have...
This is the solution, what
Yeah.
Anna is talking. We don't have
This
that.
is the whole concept, but we will have it. So, for example, if I'm, having some new health problems, then I will be able to write down, I don't know, when the symptoms had occurred, what kind of symptoms do I have, and etc. So, next step, I will be able to see like a calendar, which is showing when the doctor is working. Is it maybe, afternoon, is it before noon shift, or so on. And I will be able to see like all the available appointments. And at this stage, I will choose one or maybe, I don't know, 3 appointments which are available for me. And that's all. Znači, sorry, that was Croatian. So that's all from the side of the patient. Now, from the side of the doctor, let's say I'm a doctor in Health Center Metković. I'm not, but let's say it. And I can see, okay, for today, I have maybe 20 new entries for new appointments. Then I can see the patient number 1. Okay, he has chose maybe 3 appointments. And then I will choose like the one that most suits to me, of course. I will be able to write some special notes to the patient. For example, if they need a full body examination for the first time, I will tell them to bring me any, previous medical records and so on. And then after all that, I will just like confirm the appointment, and the patient will get some notification via email or so on. And this way also the doctor will be able to set the duration of any meeting. For example, they can say, okay, for blood sampling, it will only takes me for at least say 10 minutes. Then I will get appointment, which is lasting like 10 minutes. If I need to do a whole first, medical body examination, then I need 30 minutes for that. Maybe another doctor will need 40 minutes for that. So they will be able to choose all of this for themselves individually. And at the end of the story, everything that one doctor will need to do is just, make some click He will know who is coming to see him, what kind of symptoms does he have. Maybe he will be able to more prepare himself and so on. And this basically solved the whole problem with communication. And that's all. Thank you for your attention. Any questions?
No time for questions, sorry. From Dubrovnik-Neretva County, Mr. Ivica Puljic. Okay, because we have two Ivo and Ivica, so.
I did the presentation because I thought that we do not have so much time for that. So I would like just to briefly welcome you on behalf of Dubrovnik-Neretva County, of course, and Mr. President of the region, Štefanić, and Mr. Vladimir, head of administrative department for entrepreneurship, tourism, and sea, who is here with us in Osijek today. I was thinking what to say about that, because European regions are diverse, as you know, economically, ecologically, and culturally. But dRural is a project to support diversity, and the other side connects that. The EU funded several projects aimed to help grow the economy, create jobs, foster local businesses, and improve quality of life in our area. And this project will build a virtual market, as we heard, a virtual waiting room, but also will connect the ecosystem of potential end users and service providers in rural areas. Mentioned activities will deliver a broad spectrum of services and improve citizens' quality of life. Problems of depopulation and the declining economy activities of rural versus urban areas are present, not only in Croatia, not only in Dubrovnik-Neretva County, but also in most countries. In addition, rural areas in Croatia are behind comparable EU areas in some parts of social, energy, economic, infrastructure, and accessibility to public services. Accordingly, so EU has developed the concept of smart villages, which is primarily aimed to reducing such a gap between EU countries and regions. The Dubrovnik-Neretva County, in cooperation with the Regional Development Agency of Dubrovnik-Neretva County called ENEA, has taken numerous steps in the last few years with the aim of a smart development approach to all parts of our county. In addition to the ICT strategy, the county has successfully prepared a project for the development of broadband infrastructure projects to develop and implement a smart concept across the county continue. Although the term smart village connects to digital technologies, as you know, access to broadband, the internet, 5G, or whatever you want. But smart city is actually much more than that. The definition of smart city includes automatization and robotization of agriculture, sharing economy, circular economy, digital platforms that can replace basic services in health, in government, whatever you want. Use the renewable energy sources, additional activities on agriculture, sustainable tourism, and so on. dRural is building a service network for rural areas in communities based on 4 rural regions in Europe, and one of regional demonstrators in Dubrovnik-Neretva County. Implementation of our ideas will be supported by actions to improve internet broadband coverage in the rural areas. dRural overall, as I think, is to co-develop and implement a digital solution that delivers multiple services to rural citizens while creating new opportunities. The ecosystem building exercise will offer opportunities for entrepreneurs by promoting new market openings, which will allow small and new players to increase value. We are so proud being a part of the dRural consortium with the 31 partners from 11 countries. Yeah, right. All partners on this meeting, as you know, are representatives of one of selected areas for implementation of this area, with the ultimate goal of providing essential services to rural areas throughout the EU. This is a project we believe in, and we also have a big ambition about it. The dRural team was made by individuals in the local healthcare organization, municipalities, and professionals. We work together to co-develop and roll out a digital marketplace, a virtual activating rural healthcare centers for people living in rural communities. Dubrovnik-Neretva County have a mission to improve the quality of life in rural areas, and we are working on that through this digital transformation. Dubrovnik-Neretva County will be focused on replication of the rural model of virtual marketplace and virtual waiting room to other parts of our county. Our aspiration is to use this model even in other fields, not only agriculture. First of all, we are a tourist area, but followed by agriculture and fisheries. This model, as I realize, can be implemented in the other industries such as fisheries I was talking about. So don't be afraid to dream big, because the dream is a possibility. Having a big dream is not a bed of roses. You have to be prepared to work harder than most people do. As I can see, the rural team is working for that, so let's work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivica, for inspirational speech. We know who is going to be the head and spokesman of the project.
I didn't say in the beginning I'm a journalist.
We know that, but now the others know as well.
Take over my job.
Yes. Okay, I will just quickly ask TERA TEHNOPOLIS that you really briefly present yourself in your role in the project. So, Mr. Štefanić or
Okay,
Ms. Nikšić.
Presentation of TERA in 4 slides with like the presentation. I can present us without slides, I show slides later. What to do? Our role is very specific. From us is expected to do the heavy lifting and sustainability. To be able to do great performance and sustainability phase, we're going to implement our activities in the second half of the project. Once an application is developed, we're going to test it in Dubrovnik-Neretva County year 1, and then later continental parts of Croatia, with clear ambitions to repeat that in all Croatian regions, meaning our national territory, and growing even beyond, meaning possibly taking care of West Balkan countries, but also possible other countries in Southeast Europe, because we are a full cup Croatian, and we have very effective cooperation with other national cups. Have already working relations, that should be really challenging, but and more a little bit. But not to forget to present the team. Dejan, Vedran, Martina, Birgit, Anna, myself, but we are also crew of 15. If someone is engaged otherwise, we have plenty of spare hands, and we will thank you. Luca, I didn't see Luca.
Yeah,
One place was reserved for LCD projector. Luca, of course.
you will hear much more in the next presentation when we go into the depths of some issues that we already are aware of. But in the meanwhile, thank you. I would like to ask Ms. Myriam Martín from TICBioMed and our lead partner to say a few words.
I haven't got anything to say, because Ivica has said everything I was going to.
Okay, but you know, they don't know TICBioMed. I know you, so
Yeah.
maybe they know a little bit more about you as a lead partner responsible for the whole project.
So first of all, thank you very much for inviting me, and it is great just to feel that we are not only like some images on the screen, but that we are human beings, and I'm really happy to have this opportunity to meet you all. And it is going to be easier for me to put name, faces, and just to build the teams, because sometimes it is not easy to know who is working with organizations. Secondly, thank you very much for this present. No, honestly, I mean, my Christmas tree, it is full of these things from the different places I visit. So this is going to take an important place this year. As I haven't been traveling lately, this is going to be the new one for this year. So Thank you so much. So TICBioMed is a cluster organization. We are based in Southeast Spain. You will all have the opportunity, or at least part of you, to visit us this December, where we are going to organize the consortium meeting. So we are mainly focused, well, it's not mainly focused, we are focused in digital health. So the reason why I started with this project was because health was an important part of the services that could be delivered in rural areas. But still there are some other services, of course, that we are exploring to bring into this platform. So we just thought it was an opportunity to keep on working on digitalization of health and also bring rural areas into the digitalization and take the opportunity of using those new tools to foster the economy in the areas and give more opportunities to the population in this area. So dRural is quite a complex project, not only because of the number of partners and just getting to know all the names of you all, but also because we are dealing with three different, just summing up like three different areas. On the one hand, we are setting the ecosystems, we are identifying needs. On the other hand, we are developing a solution, a technical solution. We are not starting from scratch, but still there's quite a bit of development. But we are also, and your words were music to my ears, Ivan, we really want to pay attention to sustainability. We don't want this to be only a project that is going to be running for 42 months. We want it to continue in the future, looking for some other regions and some other arenas where we could really increase our, let's say, outreach. So those three things, well, it is only three things. It is not only three things. It's, let's say, one project itself. It's just setting the ecosystem, develop the platform, and just to look for sustainability. And also we have obviously communication activities, and we define a framework because we want to measure the impact, and we are also going to launch calls in order to support this activity of increasing the number of regions and the number of services that are going to be delivered through the platform. So that is the complexity, and we need to be, let's say, quite coordinated. So I'm conscious that we have driven too much at the very beginning. We are trying to get a little bit better, but starting were never easy, and just to coordinate and identify which were the different mistakes has taken us a little bit. But this is a research project, so that means that somehow we are learning by doing. So this is not like a linear thing, like, okay, I wrote the project this way, and this is the way we are going to implement it. Sometimes we realize that we need to move the order of the things, and we need to listen, especially you, on how easy or how difficult it is to implement in the region. So this is, as I said, a learning process. This is one thing I would like to stress. Please make questions. I mean, if you have that, if you have questions, let us know, because otherwise it is impossible for me or for the work package leaders to know which are your problems and to share them with the other partners. And maybe you all have the same problem. We just think that everything is okay. Obviously, online doesn't help, because we ask online, is everything fine? Yes, we end up the meeting, we think, okay, everything is fine. And then suddenly we have like some questions that we realize that it was not clear at all. So please, if something is not clear, let us know. We will try to explain better, or we will try to find a way to make it easier to understand. But one important point in this project is networking. And it is networking not only at regional level. I mean, you all need to know how to work together. I don't know, I think the four of you were working together in other projects. So you need to know which are your priorities, and you need to know how to work together and to align the priorities of the different partners, just understand each other, let's say. But also to network with the other regions within the rural, because I think that it could give you some examples on what the other regions are doing, which are their needs, their challenges, and sometimes it is difficult to copy and paste, but could give you some hints on how to approach some of the questions that you have opened, and also network with the other partners that are more horizontal or technical problems. So this is really about networking. I was talking to Ivana in the way here, and EU projects, it is about networking and to learn about what the others are doing and increase the opportunities that you will have to work in other projects and other initiatives. And okay, it is a hard job, but I think it's quite rewarding. If we manage to have a platform, if we manage to define the services and to deliver them, I think that we will all feel like quite a rewarding feeling. So I just welcome you to be fully on board of this project, and just to keep working together in order to achieve the best results.
Thank you, Myriam. As Mr. Pulic said, we are already the good team because we realized that we are applying, not only talking. I would like to ask Mr. Yasin Sahhar from University of Twente to give a short presentation of what they are doing and their role in the project. So we got to know him a little bit through our online meetings, and now we will hear a little bit more, and all of us will have opportunity today and tomorrow to talk with them also in details about other things.
Indeed.
Okay. Why does this with that? I just forgot
No, it's on the
one
USB.
thing that I think you are the one that has your idea on what you have
Yeah.
to do
But it's not
the
here.
platform, which are the community
But
services
go
that you want to work in,
No,
the
it's the
virtual
one.
waiting room and the
It's
marketplace.
not here. Can you go
So,
to it?
The
Second one.
somehow I
Is
was
it
discussing with the
HDMI,
technical
this one?
coordinator that it
Yes,
might take
but
you as
it's
a
over the
reference, as a
projection.
pilot, just to start working with the platform, just to be the pioneer within the rural project, and maybe help the other regions to better identify which are the complex services, what we mean by complex services, and what that
Okay, we have the spokesman, so we are ready. Thank you for that.
But you are doing quite well. I think you really have a clear idea on what you will do.
But this is because, you know, we really early, when we knew that project is going to be financed, started to talk. So before official starts, and we had many discussions, and what we realized, I don't know what other parties are doing, that we have a need to meet at least once a month virtually, and we already had 2 physical meetings because this was the link to get to know and exchange information. And I think this is the value for all of us, because then what happened on one of the meetings with Dubrovnik-Neretva County, they realized, aha, okay, we can apply this on others. So I think this is what we want to get, and also what we would like to hear, because we really don't know what other parties are doing at all, their experience, because they are for sure going to give us some ideas. They are maybe in different situation, but there are things that we can use from their cases or from the problems they have encountered, and vice versa.
Yeah, and even if they don't use it as a complex service, rural, we were discussing with the Swedish partners last week, and apparently they have some experience on virtual waiting rooms. They have already been working, although they did not implement that. So it is not about the actual services that are going to be implemented in the framework of the rural, but also on some other services that are already being delivered, and that will give you some ideas on how they approach.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Ready, Yasin?
Thank you, Ivana. Well, thank you everybody for being here and inviting us. That's first of all. I'm very happy also with my colleague Tina to be here to meet you all physically in 3D, as Myriam said. What I would like to share is a little bit what the work that we are doing and that we're also going to do today and tomorrow. But again, let me again state that we're very thankful to be here, for your hospitality, inviting us to your region. And I looked up in the Dropbox folder and I saw this beautiful photo of the city of Metković, and which was looks stunning. So it would be great to visit that too. Basically, what I would like to show is a quick overview of the process, what we've done so far from work package 1, which is about ecosystem development. So we're trying to build an understanding of what kind of actors are in the ecosystem, what are their needs, how do they collaborate, and how can dRural fit into that. So in the last weeks, let's say, it was on aiming to develop an understanding of the regional context and goals. Today and tomorrow we get further acquainted with ourselves, of course, but also continuing to create a view of the regional ecosystem through talking to you, through engaging with you. And I would like to share a possible approach also how we can do future workshop to support this idea. And the coming weeks will be on a follow-up of the interviews and possible other workshops. But this is also to be discussed. It's the things that we do in other regions that might inspire us to adopt too. So from University of Twente, also with my colleagues Bart, Michel, and Ariane and Tina, we are here to, and thankfully we had some time on the schedule, a short update presentation, which basically is this, the workshop on impact identification from Tina, and tomorrow we will engage with some regional actors to understand their perspective. So that's what we're going to do today and tomorrow. But at the same time, what are other regions doing? As Myriam said, we should collaborate with each other, learn from each other, and what and how can we learn from this, what we have done so far, which I would like to illustrate through the following figure. So basically what we're going to do is to have interviews with some actors, happy that we were able to organize that. But in the other regions, as we were last week in Jamtland, Härjedalen, for example, we organized a workshop on stakeholder mapping, followed up by maybe in other follow-up workshops, we created personas, and also in a further workshop, we will create a consumer journey. So to understand what kind of journey these people and our target groups go through. And I must admit, in this region, we already have a very clear idea what we're heading for. So this might be tweaked and fine-tuned a little bit to you, and this is to be further discussed, but it can serve a little bit as some source of inspiration, what we did in other regions. So this is basically the flow that we built through, that we went through, mapping all kind of actors in the ecosystem. It's very complex and very massive, I must say. This was an example in Gelderland Midden, so in the Netherlands. Out of that, we created target groups. We stated 3 different target groups that are relevant and that have specific needs to be found out, let's say. Then we mapped them, all target groups, we mapped them into these layers like an onion. The very center is the target group, and outside of that are actors that interact with these target groups. We did that for the 3 different target groups that we formulated. Based on that, we created personas, so fictive persons that represent that persona. And afterwards, we finished with a deep dive into the journeys. So as you can see, these are the phases that a subject or a person goes through. What are their goals, their activities, their needs, their current experience, which also gives us food for thought how to improve that. And also what kind of suppliers are there to support that process. So this was very, very fast in a nutshell. But basically, our message is also that it's quite a danger. We have a lot of knowledge with each other, but it's also a danger on the other hand side that we should move outside of that box. It's not just from A to B, but we should open the door and also embrace that complexity and talk to the people that should or are going to use the platform in the future. So we opt for, if you see that image on the right hand side, answers are not simple, but rather complex. We would opt for the complex one because this gives us a very detailed view of what people want. And that's basically supported by our approach in Work Package 1, and my colleague Tina from Work Package 6 will introduce shortly what she's going to do. So thank you very much, and very looking forward to collaborate further with you.
Thank you. I'll ask Tina, do you want to present now or during your presentation you?
Yeah, I think it's better if
Okay,
I do it later and give us some more details, but to provide you some nutshell of Work Package 6 impact and evaluation. I'm here to learn about you and your perspective on local development and the regional political. As you already perfectly explained this morning, so we will also have to aim the region of several dimensions, statement as well as environmental, economic, and social. And that's what I did for us. So I was really, get a break with you to learn about what I your perspective on that, as we've been collecting several policy documents in the past, but I'm still wondering, okay, but what is relevant to you? What are the bottlenecks here in this region for yourself? How do you see that? So this is also what the workshop will be about this afternoon. And thank you so much for the opportunity to get involved in that for 1.5 hours. We really appreciate that. And of course, for the hospitality in general, very happy to be here and part of the workshop. And I'm really looking forward to this 3 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. I'll ask now Mr. Andrea Valeri from Boundaryless to be with us online.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for organizing this session. I am Andrea Valeri, and I come from Boundaryless, and I'm just an image on the screen. So, yeah, I will be really quick. So with Boundaryless, we already, probably most of you know Luca Ruggeri and Stina Heikkilä, who led the platform design sprint at the beginning of the year. Luca is the co-founder of the company and tech expert and the main brain of the project. Simone Cicero is the CEO of the company, and Stina Heikkilä is the local development expert and research lead. She performed coordination, co-design related tasks, and then there are other figures. There is Rodrigo Soane, who is the platform design UX UI expert, and me, who I am an expert on platform business models. So we as Boundaryless have performed the role of the knowledge extractors with the first aim to avoid that, to create a technology that risks not being sustainable and used by the final end users. So as we also discussed in previous conversations, but also this doesn't not mean to respond to every demand for a new function, but rather to have a solid ground upon which we build the dRural platform iteratively in all its releases. A quick timeline of the activities we performed so far. So we had, as said, the platform design sprint in March, April, and then we defined services, dividing them into simple and complex. As a reminder, the simple services are booking, payment, and review, and then we had the presentation of the results of the platform design sprint in May, and the release of the deliverable in July. At the same time, we had internal discussion in the work package 3 for the definition of the complex services. That is something that is still ongoing, but we are catching up really fast. Also, thanks to the organization of these kind of events, and at the same time, Emergia developed the marketplace, and our first prototype has been released at the end of August, early September, and so this is where we are now. We are defining the tech complex services. One couple of words around on our methodology. The platform design toolkit is the first platform design method ever codified, and it is optimized to help you to build multi-sided transformative platform strategies with the aim to empower ecosystems in creating shared value. It covers all stages, so from exploration to strategy design, validation, prototyping, and to growth. And it is released in Creative Commons. So that means that it can be used independently, autonomously by anyone at any point in time. A recap on what we did on the platform design sprint in March, April. We mapped the ecosystem, so we mapped what was already existing in the ecosystem. We portrayed, we clustered all these entities that were transacting, that were sharing value among them into roles. So and we portrayed these roles to understand better what are their needs, what are their goals, and what they are trying to achieve in the long run. And then we analyze their potential to exchange value among them and to reduce the transaction, how we can reduce the transaction cost. So to explore channels available to convey that. Then we created the engines of learning. So how can users can improve and be better inside the platform, and ultimately to converge everything into a clear experience. We already discussed before. Well, we had some presentations on what are your main points that we also found at the beginning of the project. So I will gloss over that. The main arenas are the virtual market and the virtual waiting room, and the main context identified is are these ones. So a patient's virtual waiting room, and a virtual market focusing on connecting local producers and consumers of agri-food products, whereby for the virtual waiting room we had the primary healthcare providers, as well as doctors, nurses, and medical professionals that were looking to reduce time and resources spent on administrative burden. And for the consumers, we had the patients that were looking for an easy way to book appointments, that often have poor digital skills to access digital services, as mentioned in previous conversations. And for the market for local healthy food, with the city of Metković is the relevant stakeholder here, identified as the platform owner. Another partner is the EIT National Food Hub, that can provide an existing network and database. And the peer consumers are the end buyers clubs looking for healthy local food, easily and affordably. One last sentence on what these arenas are. So we start from the ecosystem that in which we explore multiple arenas, but what an arena is basically is more than an industry. It contains a set of value chains inside the ecosystem, and that is why it has a more broad meaning. And thanks to that, we can explore more in depth what is happening inside the ecosystem, and what are the transactions that are occurring in a more complex way. Other than the arenas that emerged in Croatia, in the region of Neretva, Dubrovnik-Neretva, we also identify, thanks to the design sprint, that other arenas that were of interest for other regions were the healthcare and social care, tourism, local food market, business development, transport and mobility, and e-government. We won't go through all of them now because of time constraints, but we can show the results and the slides and the report if needed, and feel free to ask more questions on that. And what's next? So we will help, as Boundaryless, we will help the regions to define and prioritize the complex services that they need, that they can develop using their own resources, but we still don't know how to do it, and we will do it together. So we are really looking forward to dive in today afternoon and tomorrow in the workshops. So thank you very much, and looking forward to start.
Thanks a lot, Andrea. If you don't know, we know what we want to do. So this may help you.
Yeah, no, sure. You have really clear ideas on the local food market and the social care. So this was just a misread.
No problem. Thank you for your presentation. Hope that we will meet in person on some future meetings, and that you will also be able to join us, because it's much more valuable and there is much more room or opportunity for exchange of ideas and also the things. But for so far, stay online and thank you.
And stay safe.
Okay,
Looking forward to meet you.
Thanks. Last but not least, we also have present here the link third party to the healthcare center Metković, which is healthcare center of Primorsko-Goranska County. So I would like to ask Ms. Karolina Czerny to briefly, but literally in 2 minutes, introduce why they are linked to the healthcare center Metković, because they have virtual waiting room which already functions, and it's much more advanced than what we are doing.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for inviting us. We're doing part of the project months ago, so we can take people and to make first of it and see how you're doing the project and what you so we kind of have this virtual we have it because in the M.Sc system we can use it. We were using it for vaccination firstly, and then we decided that we can use it also for the secondary healthcare organizations that we have. So we decided that primary health care medical organization can put in a virtually patients in the waiting room so that they can do their secondary health care
Diagnostics. So actually you connected the primary with secondary directly.
Yes. So it's not working that much in all the areas because community health center in the country is really people here in the islands and in the ECA, and we are just trying to get starting with it on islands, so it's much better for us to start this project there, and not all doctors of primary health are able or want to use it. So we're really trying to fight here, but the vaccination that we're organizing helped us to use it the way that we do it now. So it's still a pilot, but tomorrow I will talk about project here conducting the call center, contact center for secondary health care, and I'll let you know more about it.
Okay.
Thank you for welcoming us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Sorry, I would just like to add that today we passed also Mrs. Marina from healthcare Štefanić, and we would like to cooperate in the future in the case of mirroring the projects on other regions. So maybe you can tell us just a few words.
But our area is really wide because it's just small town, and we work in a lot of rural areas. of the practice and the biggest problem after in the rural areas where the population is old and sick, young people went out, and the whole population they need help in healthcare, but also to drive them to the doctor, and also help them to hold the doctor or go to the doctor. And we think that this way of virtual waiting room really could successfully apply in our institution. So we are looking forward to know how this more and engage with process. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And also, just last introduction, we have present here also Mr. Dario Vukovic from Laos and representative of ITC sector. So because you are here, that you hear a little bit more who you are, what you do, and why you're here today with us.
So my name is Dario. My company our major focus is virtual marketplaces, e-commerce projects, and virtual waiting rooms. So we have already some of those projects finished. They're not in that big scope as this one. So my role is here to help TERA TEHNOPOLIS to choose the best from here presented.
Ask better question, request stronger application, stuff like that.
Technical details.
Technical details, things they may not be overlooked because they're going to kick us hard later. Right
So covering the
time.
basis, actually.
And not only for TERA, but for the whole region.
I know there is a little bit of overlapping, but until it's going to be recorded. But today there is this technical meeting on firewall, so it's going to be really, technical. But well, it's going to be recorded, so you can't go to it. And if you have any questions,
Actually, Birgit will follow that technical meeting, right, Birgit? Or not? Multitasking, women can do it. Okay, thank you for the introduction. We are a little bit running late, but not too much. I will give floor to Mr. Štefanić because what we have identified, and we also discussed online with you, is the question of the proprietary rights of the future platform. So we had actually 4 or 5 meetings. We even prepared some drafts of memorandum of understanding on the level of Croatia. But there are issues that during the project, we heard several things that changed. So we want to discuss this openly, and maybe this is something that should be brought also in partners meeting in Murcia, because what we see that that can be one of the crucial things later, especially after the project ends, who and how and why is going to manage, and especially the question of the future related costs, technical needs, and all the details. I know that City of Metković and also the county, as well as healthcare center, have many questions that are actually open for discussion. So this is just to open discussion. At 11:55, we will have to make a break because we have online meeting and online presentation with colleagues from Slovenia. But if we will need more time after the lunch break, we can dedicate another at least half an hour to discuss that while we are still here.
No, we will do that in a bit of time. No
Okay,
problem.
okay.
No problem.
Great.
Okay, yes. This presentation is fairly simple. It has 3 parts. Since I'm EUIP Help Desk Ambassador and Patent and Trademark Attorney, I usually use such opportunity to act as an educator, at least. So for that purposes, I offer to my audience alternative? Would you like to have contemporary presentation, university style, or gamified one? Okay.
Can we vote?
Oh my God. No, wait a minute. Then we figured out
Come on.
it's not so simple. So we decided we will deliver hybrid. Contemporary presentation will be delivered by Birgit in Croatian language, because we would like to avoid all possible misunderstanding due to the language barriers. And then I would do gamified one. So you will have both. But before, I would like to tell you a little bit about TERA. You know who we are. Now, let's talk what we are doing. So this is our service portfolio. At the beginning, we start with the business counseling. This is our third address. And then only in 2003, we open our incubator, phase 1. So we are also a business incubator. 2005 was huge year. It was quantum leap. We start our international invention show and business plan competition. We open our 3D lab, more primarily for printing, not scanning and designing, but now we are even in that phase. And most importantly, intellectual property protection. And this is our, what to say, signature service. The only institution in Eastern Croatia, eastern of Zagreb, that would provide state-of-the-art services in IP. And we have a tremendous record. So, and then in 2008, 5 years ahead of Croatia joining EU, we start working on European projects, and we became a partner in Enterprise Europe Network. And we are still in the Enterprise Europe Network. In 2018, we became Agri-Food hub Croatia. And this is great synergy among d.Rural and Agri-Food. But we didn't stop there. We continued. Now we are coordinator of Digital Innovation Hub TERA. We are also intermediary organization for Erasmus for young entrepreneurs and Mobilize SME. By doing all that, including technology transfer services for both universities in Eastern Croatia, we claim, and we are, one-stop shop for innovative entrepreneurs. Yes, and we're helping them to transform their innovative ideas to profitable businesses. And that works. Since Myriam is with us, I would like to emphasize one thing. We already have a great experience in commercializing application developed in EU projects, but commercialized in sustainability phase. So this application is iDare, application for writing business plans, developed in cross-border program with Hungary. We got 2 European Enterprise Promotion Awards for Be the Role Model, our signature program. And iDare application is kind of cornerstone in this, because business planning is fairly automized. And you are producing high quality business plan without extensive previous knowledge on business planning. And besides, we are also very efficient business. So this noon, I have to leave you and collect our new AAA creditworthiness certificate for TERA, 4th in a row. Meaning we do serious business. We do great stuff, but we are also lean and efficient as every business should be. So much about us. We have necessary, attitude and competences to dare for great things and implement them. It's not yet official, but TERA Technopolis program Be the Role Model would be one of best practices in knowledge valorization platform. Final negotiation, tuning up, tweaking, and this is it. I challenge you, Myriam, to accept this and possibly develop best practice on knowledge valorization platform with dRural. It's feasible, and we can do it. We have know-how. Okay, the next slide is Birgit. She will talk in Croatian. Could go through slides. They are in English for our English participants. So we will both know where we are and what we are talking about.
Okay. I think that our partners all know the document IT platform on openness and IPR. The presentation is on English, but I will switch on Croatian. Htjela bih vas upoznati znači sa trenutačnim stanjem što se tiče vlasništva i otvorenost platforme. Ono što je i što piše u dokumentaciji je definitivno da se razvija platforma na open source i da treba biti otvoreno. Trenutačno, znači, platforma koja se razvija je, kao što i piše u dokumentaciji, bazirana na 5R. Myriam, naš partner na projektu, ima proizvod 5O koji se bazira na 5R tehnologijama i tvrtka, znači, Myriam je isto već razvila fali mi slajd, sorry, više od 7 godina. Znači, to je već postojeća platforma koju ćemo koristiti. Ključno je tu sada, o čemu se mi dosta i raspravljamo, je da platforma kao podstolje ovog sveg našeg neće biti open source. Znači, mi nećemo dobiti kod te platforme, ali sve što se iznad toga gradi, znači sada unutar projekta dRural, će biti otvoreno. Što onda ima i da kažem posljedice i nakon završetka našeg projekta. Što se tiče kao samo ono kao tehnološki, znači pristup će biti otvoren, taj IP vlasništvo će se razviti unutar WP6 3 i 4, svi partneri će tu biti uključeni. Da, što se opet ponavlja je da je open, ali da je bazirano na standardima. Imamo nekoliko requirements koje smo definirali sad od početka samog projekta je, na primjer, da ćemo gledati da sve podatke minimiziramo, da senzitivne podatke budu što više isključeno, to što smo već raspravljali po GDPR-om, da budu encrypted u internim bazama, ako imamo tehničke partnere da ne pristupaju tim podacima koji su eventualno i pod GDPR-om. I što smo se još kao dogovorili da financijske podatke nećemo direktno preko dRural platforme handlati, nego da ćemo tu koristiti eksterne servise. Opet, ovo sve što gradimo sad na platformi treba biti kao open solution, što znači da nećemo nikome dati da ćemo nekog priorizirati. Znači sve što se radi, što se razvija će svima biti dostupno i svi će to moći koristiti. I vraćam se, ali ono podstolje 5O od Myriam neće biti open source. Oni su to razvili znači u više od 7 godina i to je kao njihovo intelektualno vlasništvo. Mi ćemo razviti ovaj marketplace, različite kompleksne servise, bit će ovaj software development kit gdje će se onda moći još dodatne servise i kasnije razviti, gdje mi nismo direktno sad vezane uz developere koji sad rade na tome, nego će se to moći i dalje razvijati. Jedino, vraćam se opet na podstolje, ako bi se moralo ažurirati platforma, što su neke nove verzije ili nešto, onda smo mi tu u biti vezani uz Myriam. Što je to njihova platforma i oni imaju taj pristup na to. Tijekom projekta nemamo nikakvih problema što se toga tiče, to će sve biti pokriveno iz samog projekta, ali kada završi nam projekat, znači dRural, i kad gledamo onda onaj dio održivost, onda ćemo mi morati uzeti u obzir da će tu biti nekih troškova održavanja. I tu ćemo onda morati vidjeti znači, koji je to iznos troškova, na koji način ćemo se organizirati. Ima tu i prijedlog različitih mogućnosti. Definitivno bi se trebalo ažurirati iz sigurnosnih razloga, ali evo, kako točno, na tome ćemo još raditi.
Okay. Thank you, Jurgi. Important thing. And our schedule was negotiating IP rights among Croatian consortium partners. And our request to you, Myriam, is to postpone that until we know a little bit more about application, because the application is not black box for us, it's gray, dark gray. And those relationships among consortium partners are still not set. So please do not force us to go bottom up. Let's go top down. We would be much more informed and ready to be in line with consortium arrangements and clear relationship of all that. It is really not the right. And now I'm going back to my presentation, and I actually need only one slide. But to get there, that's a tricky one. I cannot just show you my first slide. There is background information. It is not about intellectual property. You know, we are a promoter. It's about making money on intellectual property. This is a different game. Of course, property and management should be sorted out well, but making money is not automatical. You have to be skillful, well-trained, experienced to do that properly. So just not to shock you with heavy slides. One question, possibility to check your IP knowledge. What's the IP in my slide? There are 5 possibilities, okay? Give me one. What is the IP in this slide? No?
Go on.
Okay. The picture itself, it's a copyright. It has an author. Text is another one. It's also copyright. So that's 2.
The combination of text.
Combination of text and picture is not copyright. But, okay. Message, oh, trademark. Look at this. Please note that came from TERA stuff, okay?
Of course.
It's trademark, but not one. Picture itself is figurative trademark. Text itself is verbal. And text and picture are combined. 5 possibilities. And what's going on in the practice? Oh, yes. Why smile? Could you answer the question? How you can tell your dog was involved in sex scandal?
No idea.
No idea.
No.
Okay.
Poor dog.
Smile. Smile is the answer. Okay. So that was ice-breaking exercise. Let's go. What's the IP and how to protect it? So most of our clients, thousands of them so far, they know about patents, but they also know they are complicated, takes long, they're expensive, so they don't do much. And software developers know if their software is not attached to a piece of hardware, it's pretty hard to get one. Okay. Less powerful, cheaper, faster, industrial design. But they don't find themselves in industrial design. They don't do that. So what they do? Oh, they do trademarks. Smart guys do all of them. And they think that's the name of the game. Now let's be ready for a shock. The playground is much bigger. This is IP and possibilities. And serious guys are doing that in layers. So not only trademark, but also trademarks all over copyrights, stuff like that. Yasin, please do not take pictures yet. Okay?
Be aware.
Be aware. This is IP3 version 2.
You were born.
Okay, it's publicly available. I'm going to give you address where you can download the whole picture. But don't be in a hurry, because on November, I think 9th, the IP version 3.0 will have world premiere on World Leader Summit. So there is a more powerful version of IP3. Why? IP3 is not fruitless tree. There are many benefits: source of income, increased market value, collateral, entry barriers, improved image, influencing industry, peace of mind. Okay? Those are fruit. And most of all, freedom to operate. Okay, but look at this. There is unprotected IP as well. You know what? If you don't protect it, you can expect that some pests might affect your unprotected IP. And not only unprotected one, but also protected because they are ruthless. Their business is to exploit other people's IP. Okay? Oh, yes. And then this is the whole picture. You're going to get your example. Don't you worry about that. Trouble with IP. Different roads lead to same places. So it's easy to get confused. And even best neurosurgeon would not operate his own head. So please do not take care about your IP on your own. Find skillful aid to do that on your behalf. Okay. And then when they do that, the most appropriate moment is only one, at the beginning. When our clients are starting that, when they get a letter from prestigious law office on Broadway Avenue, oh, you are screwed. You just violated our IP. So let's settle over that. Write the numbers inside and send us certified or notarized. Okay. Other possible way is you don't know enough about that and you are a victim of fraud. And those guys are ever better. Or they do masterful fraud. Again, you cannot even detect what's fraud, what's right. Ask for professional help. Okay. And this is the slide I need. Birgit said a couple times ownership. Frankly speaking, I don't care about ownership on platform or whatever. I just want freedom to operate. I do not want to violate other people's IP, but I also want that other people respect my IP as well. And since we are promoter, it is not IP side we are really focused. Licensing, out licensing, it's more software developer. Our side is more doing business with this. And then we have some major concerns. We would not like to experience surprises later on. We would like to know the whole story at the beginning, Myriam. Okay, and we have some legitimate concerns. Okay, we said the application is not black box, but is gray, dark gray. We would like to know more. What? To secure freedom to operate. Major concerns. Competitiveness of our platform against commercial solutions. That would be really bad if our platform is not competitive enough. Okay. Then average expectancy of open code software is about a year or less than a year. So there is compatibility issues with new releases of open source software, especially for complex services. Simple services would be properly maintained, but complex services could be trouble. Then cost effectiveness and ease of use. You know, Croatia is full of semi-application. You have red button, you press red button, and then sack of 50 kilograms is gently put on your shoulder, and you can deliver it wherever you want. Those applications have even working hours, which is a shame. We would like to have something which is easy to administrate, to customize for new markets, without help of software developer. We would like to have powerful and flexible application, not requiring our staff to do manual matchmaking among customers and suppliers, but having AI algorithm to do that on behalf of us. And then traceability for the food, that should be definitely blockchain module. So if we have powerful tool, we could do serious business. If we don't have it,
You'll have problem.
we have problem, because otherwise, if I'm committed to commercialization, I have to switch to commercial providers, and that would be bad. Do we have some more concern? Of course we do. Financial agreement with software developers is still rather vague and one way. Rather vague is not mean, you know, stands for not defined. You're going to get some deductions. We don't know what, in what cases. We don't know even if we are all four promoters together sharing expense for upgrades and improvements, because it's not fair to participate if we use that jointly. Not to pay on our own for every application and then some suites are paying the same. We would like to be transparent on that. And then we really appreciate the contribution of software developers, 7 years of investing, that's fine. But we're gonna work on developing brand. And I don't see this work is appreciated.
And there's a value in the brand.
And guess what? We don't know what's the brand or what would be. I took a liberty to check the state of the art. Myriam, there is no dRural trademark. Frankly speaking, I could have registered for myself, but that would be not a partnership. So there is a kind of hurry to file the application if dRural is the brand we're going to develop. Otherwise, we might get involved in serious prosecution against the guy who was smarter and faster than we are. And I really nominate ourselves to do that on behalf of consortium, because that's our bread and butter business. So please delegate that to us, and we're going to do that superbly. And this is the last slide. The rest is for discussion. This discussion could take place until
noon, and then
noon,
we can
or
after lunch
during the breaks or whatever. I don't see we could find clear answers right now. That was the right moment to raise concerns, ask questions, and tell what we could do, what other could do, to have a clear, transparent, and just agreement.
And the other issue, because this also translates to the local providers of the services, what about and how the structure in the future of the cost is going to be for them? So what they will have to pay, how it's going to be paid. So because this is something that we, especially in the virtual marketplace, have to consider on the cost side. So what is going to be needed? This is something that we started discussing, and for now we have more questions than the answers.
Yes.
So this is why I wanted to raise this in physical meeting with you.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm happy, and as I said, I mean, putting questions on the table is really the only way that we have to advance. We prepared the document that you have presented, all the main findings, but obviously we knew that we weren't going to answer all the questions, and I was discussing with the technical coordinator whether to make a presentation with all the regions, and maybe it makes sense to go, let's say, one by one, and then with all the regions, because sometimes if we put a lot of people together in an online meeting, we don't advance. I mean, that is one learning. So So the idea is maybe because you have a clear idea, probably because you have already identified your complex services and you have one step ahead of some of the regions, to have a meeting with you and try to clarify some or most of the questions that you just put on the screen. I have taken note of all them. It is true that we haven't answered to all them, and regarding Energia, I fully agree with you, Ivan, that this is like a negotiation, that they have the technology, but also there's going to be a development. So
Sure.
It's really and we have already pushing them to define clearly which are going to be the conditions or the potential conditions that are going to be applied after the project X. So we have already asked them to work on that. For the trademark, fully agree. Those are the things that you write the proposal and you don't include that you have to do at the very beginning. So yes, but I think that we also have to, from my point of view, let's say that the idea would be to have d.rural in all different regions. But I think we also have to discuss with the regions if they want to have their own name or if it is going to be.
Okay, but that has to be included in our agreement on that, so we know we could develop our own brand.
Exactly.
No problem.
So, yeah, and the providers, what you have just mentioned. As I said, I mean, we have like the setting ecosystem, identifying the needs, the complex services, the technological development, and the business model. And that part hasn't started yet quite actively, but we are going to start coordinating all different activities regarding the business modeling, and we are going to start working on that. So, as I said, you might be the first ones to work on that. Because I think the model, it is not going to be the same in other regions. So depending on the framework and the solutions that are going to be developed, the model is going to be different. So that is going to be quite, let's say, tailored, although it is important to exchange information in between the different regions. But I think that it is not going to be exactly applicable, but I'm taking note of all those. So my proposal is first, for you to have a meeting with the technical coordinator and and then also with the thinking with the business model you consider. And also, I didn't answer to that one, Ivan, on that you were asking about this IPR issue. We already agreed to postpone that until the complex services were a little bit clear. That's why.
Yes.
Although Roberto advanced the content of the questions that we were going to send you, we didn't send it the same format. It was just for you to know what we wanted to know, but we are going to work on that until everything is clear, and that's why we organized this training for you to have a better idea what FIBO was and how everything was working.
Okay.
We have already delayed that.
Okay. Yasin, use.
Thanks for sharing this issue. I think it's good to think of that. My question is, what is from your experience? You see that regions are different. Maybe one is focusing more on municipalities or all these regions, let's say, are different. How do you, from your experience, deal with that in this process of IP?
Okay. We could register one umbrella brand and select appropriate classes. That would be medical services, agriculture, trade. We would do that with the scope of registration. Since we are all European countries, that would be European trademark, registered before EU IPO. So there is no tricks in that. One umbrella brand could be just perfect, and then registered classes would cover whatever regional partners would like to have. So we would have open discussion. Please nominate whatever you would like. Basic fee is 850 euros. Second class additional 50, and then 150 for each additional one. All groups and products and services are classified in 35 classes of goods and 10 of services. So we could go as much as 45, but I doubt that. But could have broader coverage of just one or two services.
And in what, that makes a lot of sense, but in what stage do you define it?
No.
At the beginning.
No.
So if we say, for example, we had a good meeting, it will be, our idea was more on municipality services, but you can keep a lot of service on it. Would you now say, okay, then the focus is on municipality services?
Okay, it's a gamble of 150 euro per class. Okay, but guys who are nominating classes have to be aware. If you register a class, you have to exploit it. Otherwise, 5 years of non-use, it's kind of tricky, could be revoked for that class. So it is not just expressing wishes, but serious business intention. And nomination should be like that. It should bear some obligation. It is not game anymore. It's a serious business. But it's not complicated. It's fairly simple.
No, I am really happy that you are on board and you really manage and have all the information.
Yeah, sure.
Another experience on this. Yeah, I'm just thinking that, for example, for health and care services, that
pretty simple.
Pretty simple, one or two classes.
Yeah, we maybe from the services from municipalities, we have to clarify
which exactly they want to develop. Do you know what's their idea?
That's the issue, because we are doing research and work on ecosystem understanding.
Okay.
So we're talking to citizens to identify needs, and that's going to feed into services.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's why my question was, at what stage do you decide on how are you going to register?
We have to know that at the date of filing.
But you can include another class, can't you? I mean, you can start with the classes that you know.
I would say please do not complicate.
Okay.
And in what kind of detail should that put that?
Okay, many classes allow to register the whole class. Complex classes ask you to go in subclasses up to 3-4 levels. It is negotiable. That's the time when patent representative or trademark representative sit with the applicant and go through harmonized EU-IPO database and work on scope of registration. That's a process.
Should we do that for every single part of every region in the project, or as you said,
on a dRural platform?
I would say we would have considerable overlapping.
Yeah.
Because food market, virtual market is for all of us. So one class would cover all 4 promoters. Virtual waiting room.
Yeah, healthcare also.
Most likely all promoters. And then other guys could have some idea for generic use of application. So maybe small crafts could do waiting rooms, hairstylists, bingo. But that depends on their preferences, their plans. It is not that representatives should imagine that. Applicants should provide that input.
I think the one that is like a little bit behind it is Sweden.
Dennis, because I see you are already online.
Hello.
Your input is also helpful for this discussion because you run the platform.
But look at this. Using one of the EU states is already used. So if we use platform for green market, Swedes are welcome to use it with no other complications, or not to use it because we are using it and it's okay.
It's covered.
It's covered.
I would suggest maybe that for our meeting in Murcia, that even presents a presentation that will raise the issue and then give some deadline for the partners to decide on the services, and that we nominate them that they can start the process, because it's going to take how long?
Okay, the whole process is usually 6 to 7 months. The most important is date of filing, that's priority date. And then after administrative check, there is 3-month period where opponents could file opposition. So we would not know for 3 months, do we have any opposition? And then everything goes fast if we don't have opposition. If we have, then prosecuting, battling, we have cooling off period, which could be extended up to 2 years and stuff like that. But this is really very technical. We shouldn't go to that discussion. We have good logo. I would say d.Rural with this logo, combined trademark, should be pretty much okay. Pretty much okay.
Yeah, let's say that the hard deadline that we have for the complex services, it is June next year. But for them, I mean, the idea of the service where you are going to focus, I think it should be defined earlier.
Yeah,
I mean,
at latest.
We work on the complex service, but the idea of what is behind it should be defined February. So yeah, let's discuss about this in Murcia, just for everyone to have a clear idea of what it involves, and I count on you, Ivan. And I think that's a little bit the time frame. My only concern here is that in terms of sustainability, we are restricting a little bit. I mean, we are going to register the trademark for whatever is going to be done during the project.
Okay.
Time. And then if we want to increase to different services, we might need to get another class or whatever.
Okay, and I have one important notice. I expect from everybody present, online or live, to refrain from filing the trademark d.Rural on their own. Okay. Otherwise, I would usually say you have to sign NDA first to commit yourself in written, but we are partners, and I do not expect misbehavior.
You should have included in any of the forms that we have signed. Whatever is said here remains here. So.
Okay, what happened in Osijek remains in Osijek. Okay, same like Vegas. Okay, and as I promised, it's 11:53.
We have 2 minutes. Okay, so it's my pleasure to present to you Mr. Denis Topolnik. He's general manager of the Agri-Food platform from Slovenia. We had with them a meeting in late August because we found out that there are several synergies with what they are doing and what we want to have as end result in our project. So maybe to explain a little bit more to Denis that dRural is the project which wants to create open marketplace. Today on meeting, we have the representatives of city of Metković who are developing virtual market for agro-food, food products. And also we have the TERA TEHNOPOLIS who is going to be the regional hub and mirror what we will develop for Metković in other regions, not only in Croatia, but also broader. So we wanted to hear from you, what are you doing, how are you doing, and then I'm sure that there are going to be quite a few questions from people attending the meeting, especially about how are you doing and how did you organize distribution, what were your main challenges and how did you resolve them?
Okay, can I start?
Yes, you can start. We can hear you.
Okay. Can I share my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Now you should see it.
Yes, we see it perfectly and we hear you very well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for inviting me on your meeting, so that I can present you the green point, short food supply chain how we develop it, what the problem there was, and also how we develop it through the development of the digital innovation hub Agri-Food. We started with vegetable producers in our region, in Riga Pomurje. Vegetable is very important area in our agriculture because it's very work intensive, and we can have here a lot of employees in agriculture, and that is why on the other hand, Slovenia is a big importer of vegetable. Is not enough self-sustainable in vegetable production, and that is why is this very interesting also for wider environment. We worked with our vegetable producers for many years before. With the Green Point, we started in 2013, and now we stand at the point where we are delivering it through wholesale to more than 100 public institutions and HoReCa sectors, and through online sale and own retail store. We are selling also to the end customers. We develop also door-to-door delivery. We are very proud of this because this is very important for setup. Is very difficult to set up, and we managed to arrange that minimal amount for door-to-door delivery is 10 euro per one purchase in city of Murska Sobota, and 20 euros in Pomurje region. And these are very low amounts which can customer affords. So here, as I mentioned, here we have also strong engagement of all local actors, so that this way we can get near customers efficiently with all informations and so on. So here we are standing today, as said already, over 100 in wholesale customers, over 20 local vegetable producers are connected in Green Point short food supply chain. Their production is over 500 tons of fresh vegetable per year, and this was the basis. Because we want to avoid all others traders, immediate traders, and we want to get directly to the customers. And now we managed that more than half of our own productions goes through Green Point supply chain. So it's natural that if we want to be enough interesting for our customers and enough competitive on the market, we had to add to our sale others local products. So firstly, all fresh fruit, and then of course all others local products which we deliver from all Slovenia. Local market means for us whole Slovenia. So we have for example different type of oils, honey, vineyards, eggs, different type of pasta, and so on. So everything what we can get on Slovenian market in some moment in the year. Here is important to say that our production for fruit and vegetables is not so we have to import more than half of products because we have it's a seasonal and we have not enough from our own. That is why is in our portfolio is around half of fruit and vegetable from import. This is for domestic production is this very high percent in comparison with other traders in Slovenia. As we know that we are 30-35 we have 30-35 products from our local producers. So what was the main message for our customers when we go with our own store to the market? Firstly, of course, it was closeness to the market. We can assure our consumers that they get the products inside 24 hours. And this is in comparison with import is very good. While import can assure there can travel the products also 1 or 2 weeks or even more. And here we have more vitamins and more other active ingredients. If we know that, especially by vegetable, there are losses every day. Here we have also environmental friendly production, and then we have also other advantages. Integrated production as a quality scheme in Slovenia, national quality scheme assure that each farm had control at least once a year, and there are also stricter criteria in comparison with other integrated production in other countries from EU, from which are competitors coming. Last but not least, we are promoting that we are supporting with this local jobs. As I mentioned already, it's labor-intensive industry, and of course here is very important settlement of rural areas, which is also for wider institutions very important. So as I already said, in 2013 we started with retail store Green Point at the market in city Murska Sobota. Then we have more changes. In 2014 we moved in BTC, this is shopping center Murska Sobota, where we get more direct customers. As we said at the beginning, the Green Point means, as I already tried to explain, this is one point where the local products meet the customers, and this was a logical move to go on place where we can meet more customers. In 2015 we tried to open one new retail store in Ljubljana, and in 2018 we established wholesale, and then we start to grow more rapidly. So as you see now in year 2021 we plan over 900,000 euro of revenue. If there was not a COVID situation, then we will exceed it over 1 million euro. From €0 in 2013. Normally, as in all businesses, also here we are challenges. So as you know already, if you think about agriculture and selling of local products, import is representing big competitors. There is lack of technical expertise, of infrastructure. There is food fraud, illegal practice are present, and we have to deal with these challenges. So, from green point of view, there was a need to develop business further in a way of digitalization this chain, and to bring in chain new technology. So that is why in year 2016 the cooperative which is running Green Point was also co-founder of Innovation Technology Cluster, who is supporting us now with new development. Already there, we saw that we need to support farmers and own trade differently, and we know that we will need to produce more efficient with less resources, and we need to care about the environment and also economic and social sustainability. So that is why there was an idea. Also, it was at this time. It was the idea was grown up that we can set. Okay, we need a digital innovation hub, Agri-Food. What this mean? This is one shop providing for digital transformations service on one place to a multi-actor approach. So ITC, Innovation Technology Cluster, was initiator for development of DIH Agri-Food, which is reflecting now through DIH Agri-Food platform. So it's informal network of different type of organizations who are working together, who are changing knowledge, information, everything with the aim to make progress on digital transformation of production and trading with local agriculture products. So in DIH Agri-Food, we manage connecting over 850 different type of organizations, which are reaching more than 7,000 different organizations. Here we're talking about all organizations. They can bring progress on different level on field of digitalization. Here are universities, research organizations, public, national public advisory service in Slovenia, other business support organizations, associations, and at the end, SMEs as farmers, and individual farmers, and everything is based on facilitators from 10 countries, and facilitators are expert, and they are connecting between some organization, members of DIH Agri-Food, and others organization. So DIH Agri-Food works on 3 pillars, as I mostly talk about. For us, is most important food supply chain. The green point is here the main point, which is developed through this. Then we have digitalization on farms. The farmers meet digitalization for the first time through this, and we are including the most smaller farmers because for there is difficult to get to new knowledge and to new equipment and so on. And then it's also here very important gastronomy, because we are in this environment where is the agriculture, the food processing is very close to the tourism. Through products which you see on the top of the slide, we are contribute to the mission of DIH. So some of these products are more involved in one pillar, some in other, some are more developed, some are at the beginning, but this is some frame. Here I wanted to show one example of digitalization on farms through European project. We equipment 12 farms with concrete equipment, and here farmers can here they get equipment and they can measure they can make some control regarding to fertilization, irrigation, and so on. And here is another project, concrete. Here was 5 farms, so in pillar digitalization of farms, and so on. If I get back to Green Point, Green Point, as I said, is developing it through pillar short supply chains, and in 2020 it became a living lab. It came also the members of European network of living labs were together with 130 others living lab. We are working together, and here we have changing of information, changing of knowledge, and so on. And through living lab, we are developing inside Green Point short supply chain new technologies. They are enable us progress on the digitalization, and at the end we can get better economic results. So more efficient business. Existing platforms which are already developed are, as I mentioned, online system for so marketplace for ordering of local products from door to door. Here is another thing on online system where we have another marketplace developed for exchanging informations with public institutions and other organizations which want to get information about current local products on the market. These were one of the biggest problem, because information about local products which are available was not at one place. And here we have now connected more than 30 organizations which can get one per year informations per email or per app about this offer. Next thing is developed is blockchain based traceability. About blockchain will I talk a little bit more later. We are very proud on this. It's very good accepted in the environment. And then is here also data collection platform. This is this is a platform where when we gathering all information, they are around us. We know, we're aware of this, that this data will be very important in the futures. So on this platform, we are working already intensively. Next, what we want to do is some new models on circular economy. Here is also one interesting project, Circ Eco, where we will make a third marketplace, and here we will care about waste food, and we will try to get the waste food back on the market. This is very important project because here we can get also better economic result for a whole Greenpoint short food supply chain. And there are here also other ideas for the future, like zero greenhouse gas emissions and so on. So as I said about blockchain traceability, here we started with a few vegetable producers. Our goal was that we connect this production in blockchain traceability. So every of these producers received a digital identity, and every of these producer we take three type of crops for beginning, and every of these producers recorded their productions from seeds through grow to harvest and to delivering and to take over in warehouse, and this all is recording and storage. This is storage on different computers, and when it comes to the storage for end consumers, they have a QR code which can they scan, and they can get all informations about way of this product. So they can see, as you can see, they can see origin, they can see address and name from producer. They can see certificate. Here is connection to certificate. Here is integrated production quality scheme. They can see a picture of seeds, of picture of grow with date, and picture of harvest, and also picture of takeover in warehouse. And everything is stored on private blockchain Next. And that way we want to be a trusted partner to our customers. This is very important to us, and with this project we came much closer to our customers. What we want to do next, we want to expand it to all products, local products in our offer. Also to food processors, and very important is that we want to replicate to other short food supply chains in Slovenia, and of course demonstrate and promote and higher the awareness in the environment. So for the end I want to show you last slide. So when I talk about digital innovation hub and informal network of different organizations, we have this slide in mind. So this mission of this DIH we are contributing through these 7 areas, and each of organization, if each of partner is doing this through, not necessarily through all, but through this what he's done so far, with difference that he is working now through the DIH. If you can imagine now the green point and innovation technology cluster inside DIH is its role to develop number 6 living lab, awareness creation. We are informing a wider environment about this, what we are doing and what is better. Through financing farmers by digitalization their farms, we are doing through pillar 4 financing and funding, and maybe mentoring and training, and we are doing nothing else as doing our job, and with the difference that we are doing that through the DIH. And if we take another example, maybe public advisory service in agriculture in Slovenia, they are doing in the similar way, but they are doing awareness creation and mentoring and training through DIH. And this is it. So thank you for now. I will end here, and I'm open for question and discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Denis. I'm sure that everybody has here questions, so I will open the question session. But before I give word to you, I would like to ask you, you said that at least once a year you go to the farms for control. Can you explain exactly what kind of control do you do? Is something standardized, or how do you do it, and why?
Yes, this is I mentioned this in frame of quality scheme, national quality scheme integrated production. This is national quality scheme, which is supervised under umbrella of ministry, and here are three independent organizations. They are accreditation from EU, and this is national brand, so-called. Probably you know about quality scheme, and I mentioned that because in Greenpoint is based on 20 vegetable producers, and they are producing under the quality scheme integrated production.
Mm-hmm.
But I said that in the context that we are promoting this. This is one of our main message to our customers.
Okay, so that you provide quality controlled food.
Yes, and in integrated production is a rule, national rule, that every farmer get control once a year.
Mm-hmm.
And they are controlling pesticides, fertilizers, they are controlling papers, and so on.
But do we have something like that in Croatia?
I think we do, but they can really control any other kind of control that for being a part of this.
Denis, did you hear the question?
No.
So the question is there any other control beside that?
No.
Your control from the green point?
No. No. No, they are different inspection. There are different inspections. We have 5, 6, 7 times per year also food inspection. They are inspecting us about pesticides and other stuff which can be left in vegetable.
Mm-hmm.
And also other inspections.
Okay.
But this is.
Do they have any official feedback from the customers, the producers, or do they have any stars or something like that? Or
So do you have feedback from your customers, like stars or some kind of rating when they buy, for instance, fresh salad, and can they rate if this is excellent or mediocre?
Yes, this is our marketing. We are working on that. It's not continuously. We are checking it. Yes, we are checking it on different ways with different approach to the customers.
Mm-hmm. How did you organize distribution? You do it by yourself, or what are the options first of all, and then how did you organize it, and what are the costs?
Here is very important that we have our own production.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that our own production supported us, this is main point. In Slovenia, there was many such tries, but they didn't succeed because of this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is very important, and we have our own three vehicles, which with them we are delivering to the customers.
So you, as far as we understand from your presentation, they have to bring the goods to the warehouse.
Yes.
Where you take them over, you package them, and then you send them to distribution channels or to the customers directly, or in stores.
Yes.
And if they do the orders online, can they also choose, or it's only the options that you told us, 10 euros for within the city and 20 outside?
No, I can show you this marketplace. I can show you this marketplace.
See what we have, so they did.
Ivana, what are you looking for the platform?
So you see the marketplace now.
Yes.
So this is the marketplace, and here is everything what we have in our retail store, and here they can pick up everything what they want, but they have to reach 10 euro. They have to reach 10 euro.
Mm-hmm, the whole order.
For city Murska Sobota and for Pomurje 20 euro, and we have also option that if they order less, they can take over it by themselves, so they don't have to pick up at the store. And
so Denis, the price for the distribution is included in the price of the item.
Yes, we give one euro for city Murska Sobota and 2 euro for Pomurje region. This is symbolic.
Mm-hmm.
But we included this in the price of products mostly.
And this covers your cost of the platform and of the distribution.
Not yet. This marketplace, not yet. This is in early developed phase. We are financing this. This is not developed. Developed is wholesale and retail sale. And retail sale is in the share already for 30% revenue. It came from retail. This is very important, very big percent, and retail is sustainable and wholesale is the main point.
So wholesale is main point, and then the retail, and then the online is the third part.
Online, yes, online is we are developing it.
And actually, what we saw in COVID, you had significant rise, I would presume, of online sales.
Yes, but this model is okay because we have not too much to work with this online sales because we are doing it anyway in the market. This is additional. Our vehicles are on the way on Pomurje region, and then they can take over also small amount of products and deliver it anywhere in Pomurje region. And when they are packaging, when employers are packaging bigger commissions for bigger customers, then they can make also for smaller customers. Also, they can prepare for delivering. It's not a problem. So the cost was this marketplace, and that someone can take care of
the product.
That picture are okay, and everything what is in the market. Everything is connected directly with our main program, and here is automatic connection. So the data is changing automatically.
And do you charge anything to the producers?
No, nothing. The consumers get the bill from them, and they charge or they pay.
It's the order is, what kind of payment do you do? It's prepaid, or when they are delivered, then they pay? How does that work on your platform?
What price do they get from the producer?
Here is interesting is here because it's not usual when we have fresh vegetable and fresh fruit where we delivering those products. This is not. We deal with this lot of time. Here is the system that they are ordering. So they are ordering an amount, okay. And then we are when we get exactly amount that we get when it's packaged. So by fruit and vegetable they paid when they take over.
I take over, okay. And from the producers,
because here is the difference, and that consumers are that they know that.
Okay, and you buy from producer, and you add some margin to that.
Yes.
Okay, and how much is that margin?
It depends. From 30 to 50%.
Okay, and your prices are compared to, let's say, what you can buy in the supermarkets?
Yes.
The same price or higher?
Yeah, it's lower.
It's lower.
It has to be competitive.
Okay, that's interesting. Because you actually, what we saw that you have a lot of, I would presume, organic or eco products there.
Not a lot of.
Not.
No. Mostly integrated and conventional.
And what is the price that you sell 5% lower, or do you need more to be competitive for the consumers?
No, we can have the similar prices. We can have the similar prices. We can have some prices can be higher, some lower, but we have to be somewhere on the market prices. Okay. Then we can say we are competitive, and we can take other advantages then.
We have another question. Yes, Dario.
Are the prices tax-free in Slovenia?
Are the prices for food tax-free in Slovenia?
Tax-free? No. We have 9.5%. And it's interesting. It's interesting that now is for us the lower season. This is interesting, right? Because we have lot of individual producers in area. They have not greenhouses, and they are disturbing situation in market.
And actually, this was what we were discussing earlier before your presentation with colleagues from Metković, that what they think that for maybe even 4 or 5 months, there is not going to be almost any activity on the platform, because the production of fruits and vegetables is very seasonal.
Yes, that's why it's very important, as I already said, that it grows from self-sustainable trade, and which has included import products from import. This is very important. We try first 2 years, 3, we tried only with local products, but this doesn't. No.
Okay, so we have to have the broader base. But maybe
all the products made of the products that we have.
Yes, but we in Croatia have maybe different seasonality, and a little bit. Maybe it's going to be. We'll see. Maybe it's going to be easier.
I'm sorry. I have 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you. I think there are no any other questions. We'll keep in touch. Thank you for your time. And for sure, we'll have another meeting with you in some more developed stage of development of our platform.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Day-to-day things are more on the business model, but how feasible it is to use their technology, or do you know, because they've done a lot of technological developments, especially I was thinking that you were going to focus on the production itself, but then they are working also with farms, with all these IoT stuff.
Yeah.
And when we were in Sweden, there's quite a few farms as well, so maybe technology.
We can connect them with them because they are really very advanced in that.
I was thinking, I mean, not on the complex services, but maybe
on simple, yes.
For these complex services.
For sure.
It could be interesting to come with, I mean, reinventing the wheel doesn't make any sense. So if there's any platform or any technology that has already been developed, and we just work out on how to integrate those with
so Denis is the manager of the platform.
Okay.
I also talked with the IT guys who developed the platform, so we can have a meeting with them. And actually, one of them was supposed to be with us today, but he got operated yesterday, so he couldn't attend. This is why we are online with Denis, and definitely yes. Actually, before we started dRural, we knew that they are doing something, because before COVID, we attended the fair, local fair of eco production they organized, and where they promoted those farms that he mentioned. So for me, it makes sense to connect with them to see what they are doing and what in dRural, from what they already have, we can use and connect, because it brings value to dRural, to their platform, and they are specialized in rural agri-food parts. So again, they're specialized in something which TICBioMed definitely is not. And also, it's not intention of this project to develop local regions. But I think they are a very good match for somebody who wants to do more. What we discuss with them, that we connect actually our platform with theirs and exchange of the products.
But that is, I mean, the whole idea that maybe we haven't been able to communicate from the very beginning. It is not only for the rural developed platform, but also to
connect.
I say connect the
Yes.
other existing platforms. So we are working on this, what we call simple services, just to create some activities
and ideas what can be done.
Easier, but the whole idea of the call is connecting existing platforms. And I think this is quite a good example. Either, I mean, thinking either as a micro region, because they want to keep developing that and plug into the rural. I mean, we still have to decide whether it is going to be 4 different brands or
one
overall umbrella. But yeah, I mean, I think it's identifying these initiatives that have existing platforms, and honestly, I think it would save us a lot of time, because doing again whatever is already done.
We can set up the meeting with them, and propose. I had a meeting with them physically in August, so even to organize physical meeting. This way, I wanted that somebody from the Agri-Food is here today to have more time, but it happened as it happened. So yeah, let's go in that direction. I think that also, Andrea, you agree. This can save us a lot of time, because what we did, we identified the local platforms, but they are very narrow and they don't have the approach that they have. And also, you saw they are making almost 1 million euro, which is quite a lot of money. It's not through the platform, everything. Also, he said 30% for the retail, but it's still quite a lot. And you have to think that they started as European project in 2013. So it's European project who kicked off, and based on that, they created the whole chain. And this is the model that I think we could not copy directly, but copy and adapt to our regions.
And also being a digital innovation hub brings like from the point of view of the strategy in the European Union, you bring
added value.
Other initiatives.
Yes.
That is one of the biggest concerns of the European Union, that there are a lot of things being created without a common link.
But this is why, our connection with TERA, and why we think that they are ideal to be later somebody who is going to stand the platform, because we know the capabilities they have, and they are digital hub as well. And also TICBioMed, who has interest in health and digitalization, there are connections. So I think we created really good synergy. And what we will do, we just want to learn to test, maybe fail, but then test again and find a solution. And this normal process within the project. Because I was talking with Nick earlier, he knows the producers. His family is one of the producers. So he knows from the first hand what are the problems. And it's going to be hard. Technical part is the easiest to solve, and technology. But how to make people to use the platform, because you see they only have 20. After 8 years, only 20 producers. The question is, how much do they have in general in Murska Sobota? For sure, not as many as in Metković. You have more than 2,000 only in the city, which is really, really a lot, a large number. And what we know, and what was, I think, main motivation to involve Metković, they struggle and they get very, very low money for the project because there are wholesalers who buy below the production price. So literally below the production price, and it's not sustainable. And we want that farmers can make sustainable living.
I think that's the whole problem when it comes to farming or agricultural. If you talk to people with milk cows, they have this problem that the price they pay them because of so many intermediaries, it is really, really low compared to the price that they could sell.
Yes.
themselves. Because it is a product that needs this whole thing to be preserved, it is not that easy to.
And what he said, what they also told me when I met with them, we have to own distribution channel. Is the key for success, because then you control the costs. And actually what they are doing, they don't charge the producers, but they add to the price and compensate for all the costs they have, and they charge to buyers.
Our project should be in between, because we have to do something for the producers and leave them to work on the field. You know, they don't have to think about their own chains.
Yeah.
This is what they said.
This should be their
Yeah,
own chain.
and if you remember, it's this
to sell that everything on a good with a good price.
on meeting in Metković, this is what they told us. They don't have, and they don't want to do the selling. They want to produce.
Yeah.
They don't have time to do anything else.
Go around and to take when and you have to take food somewhere else.
That was one point I want to highlight, that that dRural is about services. It is not about products. So it is more about how to help you
To sell or
yeah,
to
exactly.
satisfy the need if you are not selling.
And one thing you just said, I think it is important. As I said, this is a research. So we need to find a way to do it in the best way, but we want to make it sustainable as well. So it's not only researching on yeah, we keep on researching like the whole time. Well, no, we want to make it sustainable. So we have to combine like both sides of the story. But I love, and I asked Yasin about that slide where, yeah, it seems that everything is going to be easy going from A to B. We start month one, we will deliver.
Yeah. Come on.
It doesn't happen.
Of course.
So, but we will find the other stuff.
Then to give a sneak peek on today's workshop, this is exactly about this, about connecting the initiative, what is there already, what is probably missing, and the idea, like Myriam said, it's not about reinventing the wheel. We do not want to put our fingers to distract, but you must do it differently, not at all. We just want to find out how can we support that in order to achieve.
No, definitely. This is why I invited them that you all have idea what's there, and when I started talking with them and when we shared that among Croatian partners, it was like, okay, so they already know how they did it, because we were wondering how we're going to do this. We had discussion about distribution. Are we going to hire somebody, etc. So it raised a lot of questions, especially because we are going to have the city who is in charge. So they have certain limitations. In private company, you can just make the order, buy a van, and that's it. In the city, it doesn't work like that. So this is also what we have in mind for our part of the platform.
And then, I mean, that's why we need to keep on fostering. I know the first meetings at regional level have been quite focused on conflict topics from the project, but we have to dynamize that for you to exchange information. When we were in Sweden, they told us that through Facebook, they sell, it is not a market. I mean, it's like they sell things on Facebook and you just pick them up at the, let's say, like the marketplace in the, I guess it is the main square. It's like, so it is not that you have different stands. No, it's like
Just come, you have a
just buy it and just
take it.
Yeah. It is for delivery. Yeah.
Marketplaces, each everything like
Yes.
But we have that WhatsApp groups. For instance, in Metković, there are producers who are already organized, but they do distribution themselves, which costs quite a lot. So if you can get them in the system, then we will have quite a large number in quite a little time, because there are already maybe 50,000 people on WhatsApp group.
Yeah. In Sweden, on the rural areas, the communication is through Facebook everywhere. Yeah. And they said that the problem is like that they create so many groups that sometimes it is not easy to keep track of everything, because there are different groups for different things, but the communication is being organized and communities are created around.
But look, there is no reason why we cannot have on our platform communication through Facebook or whatever.
Yeah. Because we were talking about that, to open the dRural on Facebook. Yeah. And I know it's complicated for us to handle that at the beginning, but
when it gets going,
our presence there should be good, maybe for the future. We can try to do that, even on European level if you want, but it's easier if you do that for all the regions. But it will be much better, because we will go locally and we will reach the goal faster than we do.
But it's amazing. Yeah, because maybe you will start on Facebook and then you could redirect to the platform and then...
Or to create the dRural Facebook immediately.
And we will just get new friends from all around, and you are going to focus on the group.
Yes, because for instance, we know that what's the name of the girl? Dorothea. She has how many in her Facebook group? So she can sell.
I didn't think that about it.
So we actually have the market, we have the products, and in between we have too many solutions. So I think we should find a solution that is very flexible and costs less and saves time for the producers and satisfies the needs of the buyers.
And I think it could be a way to combine, because I mean the dRural was initially thought as a web-based, and we know that most of us use the app service. So it's like how to combine both the strands. And the other thing that was also raised up at those interviews in Sweden was that, okay, now we are using Facebook, but youngsters are not using Facebook anymore. So you need to provide them, like, how long is Facebook going to be used? It seems that it's like fading. So that is, but that is for users, consumers, and then the behavior of the consumer. But that's some reflections behind.
Yes.
Social networks, it's normal to really get on your page. So that can be done at any moment, as I know. So that could be a way to have the consumers at the moment when you open our page. That's really why I told you.
Okay, I would suggest that we make a break for the lunch. Lunch is served outside, so you can start discussion in small groups, mingle, whatever you do. Let's take 40-45 minutes. So at 2 we will start, so you can make the phone calls, check emails, whatever you do. After that, I will have quite a short presentation of one of the producers from Albania, what they do and how do they marketing, because it's amazing what they did in also less than 10 years. And they are using totally different model, but just as inspiration. And then we will switch to the workshop that Tina is handling. And after that, we at 5 at the latest, we have to be at our lunch venue, which is by car, approximately 10 minutes drive from here. So we would need at least maybe half an hour to leave before to check in hotels, 3 of us who hadn't done it. And you can do whatever you want in the meanwhile. And if we finish early enough, I would suggest that Anna takes us to the Tvrđa of Osijek. It's the castle, which is very famous, very beautiful, very not too big to walk, but something to see. Or we can take a walk from the hotel to Tvrđa. Is what, by foot, 15-20 minutes.
15 maximum. 15.
We'll see how we feel after the dinner. Ok, Andrea, ci vediamo dopo il pranzo.
A dopo, buon pranzo.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
This summer, because I was told by many of the friends from Albania and Montenegro, this is the place to go. And actually what they did is something that I hadn't seen so far, neither in Croatia, neither in Slovenia. So they created the agricultural story and they are selling the products, but they created the whole ecosystem which works. So we had seen in Slovenian example, how they do it with a virtual platform, and actually they are more selling oriented. Here is the example how literally one small producer created the whole community, the whole ecosystem in village in Albania, and it can be really the best case scenario how maybe somebody also in Metković or in Slavonia can organize, because they connected the food production and tourism on high level, and I wouldn't say affordable prices, but too low prices. So actually the whole story started 11 years ago when they decided to old family farm turn into something more. And first thing was that they opened a restaurant. So what you see here is after 10 years of development, how only small part of the farm looks like. They use the tractor and the barrels as a small train for the children. And here you can see the orchard. Behind is the vineyard. There are fields, and they, in the former prison, created winery, cheese production, and also they created the whole food production. So they are not selling fresh food, but they are selling actually the end product packaged in a mill. In order to get there, you have to make booking at least 2 weeks in advance. They have 4 sittings a day, 80 persons per sitting, and it's fully booked. So the ambience, what they used is what they have. So they just upgraded a little bit, but basically still very natural to, for instance, produce the mills. They use the wind power or solar power for the mills. Also, they use traditional growing methods. So they are not fully organic or ecological, but they try to use as little fertilizer as possible, so virtually nothing. And idea was, let's create the menu based on what we have here. We are not going to buy literally anything. And after they opened the restaurant, they started to introduce more and more things. So first of all, when you come to the restaurant, the welcome drink is raspberry champagne. And then there are courses of all natural products. So if you remember what our grandmas used to serve us, what we ate actually today, maslac, odnosno bread with fat. I don't know if our friends from Spain and Twente tried the fat from the pig.
Yeah, we eat.
You also eat that. We eat that. We also eat everything from the pig. They also eat.
The same, so yes.
They also eat everything from the pig. So actually, they base the menu on what's traditional food in Albania, and you for the menu you discover what's typical in season, and also how they make it maybe 100 years ago. What amazed us that they have 100 employees and 400 people who on daily basis from the village bring the fresh product. You can buy the products in the local shop and they turn the bunkers. I don't know if you knew, but there are 800,000 bunkers in Albania from Enver Hoxha regime. And most of them are now turned in some shops or in nothing. They turn the bunkers in a gift shop. And also they turned the bunkers in, they painted the walls like big mushrooms so kids can play. They have their own production of meat, goat meat, quails. So I ate for the first time in my life quail, prepelice. And everything they serve is absolutely picked up that morning, prepared in the kitchen, and within distance of maybe 10 kilometers, maybe. Small bird, you know, small bird, you eat in France, they eat it. You eat France birds. And then, yeah, I don't know why now it's everything in.
The name in Spain hasn't got anything to do.
So.
But we eat them.
So actually, everything they produce, they sell to you, and the price for 2 people for lunch was, what do you think? We ate so much that we couldn't eat the main course. No, a little bit more. 26. For two people. Look, my suggestion is they actually started the slow food movement in Albania, and the most amazing things was not what they do, but the stuff, because we were served by the local people. One of the guys was 15-year-old kid who speaks really good English. And that wasn't what was amazing. He said, look, when you finish the lunch, if you want, I'll take you around and explain you what we do. And we find him after we finished the lunch, and he took us around. So he showed us, here we produce the fresh tomatoes, we sun-dry them. You see those people there, they are family that picks, they earn some money. Then he took us to the cheese production, which is, by the way, the best cheese production I saw in far, everything over European standards, and he completely understood the philosophy. So imagine any of you who has kids, that 15-year-old kid is responsible. He tells you about the philosophy of the company, and he's working during the summer to help his sister so she can study at the university. So, you know, this was actually impressive part, not because he was telling that, but because this tells you about the company. So they care about the company, about the employees, and they decided to come to the village. They were born to do something differently, and they did it. And actually, I want to show you, this is like what they do as promotion. So they have really good marketing and very inventive. So typically every week they publish something which is typical what pomegranate we have as well. And they pick it, they create sorbetto, and then they serve it to you. And by the way, owner doesn't drive Mercedes, but scooter. So all the land you can see, it's owned by them, or they cooperate with local farmers. Technical expert. So Metković idea for the dessert. They have the geese. How do they make the, kako radi sok kod vas, isto tako? Hundred are employed by the farm directly, and they have around 400 cooperants from the village. And after they started, a couple of years after, there were 3 other agritourisms that opened. So they really created the movement, and they are known in the whole region as, you know, place which is exclusive, very affordable, and you eat really excellent food. It's something like, you know, Fer and Andrea did in Spain 30 years ago, what he started, but they are doing that with much less ambition to be high-end restaurant. They want to be, everybody can come to place. So my suggestion is that study visit is there. They have accommodation. So we can also, we don't have the problems to book the rooms there, here. Okay, so this was just for the inspiration before Tina starts. The part when we all have to work.
Yeah, thanks again, first of all, for having us, and especially me on behalf of our work package 6 on impact evaluation. You may wonder, impact evaluation, that sounds quite far away from the current project stage. Yes, probably right, but I am here also to convince you a little bit, hopefully, that no, it's actually not too far away, as dRural also has this goal to achieve development also on the quality of life and on the regional development at large. And yeah, that's why I'm here, to not sit in the waiting mode, but to get active, as I need you for that as well, specifically. But before I will go into the workshop, I would just like to ask you, how do you interpret impact? What does that mean for you? There is no right or wrong. That's just to get some idea of what you think stands behind this.
What change we are going to do?
Change, okay. Anyone else?
Some kind of result, right?
Yeah.
Exploitation of result.
Yeah. I think impact, there are thousands of definitions. Also, if you look into the literature, you can find almost anything. I think what's most relevant, also what we consider in the dRural project, is that we want to make a change of existing solutions. So our approach is not to reinvent the wheel of anything. We know that a lot is going on in your region also already, and we just want to understand a little bit more, how can we support you better in order to achieve these goals. And this is what we worked on in the last month already. So we developed a measurement framework. I will spare you from the academic explanation on it, because I could spend 1 hour, even 2, about this. So what is most relevant for you to understand here is that we have 3 dimensions. So also no rocket science. We want to explore economic dimensions, environmental and societal. And yes, we have 4 societal dimensions. As dRural is also about, it's really focusing on improving quality of life, well-being. Also has this gender aspect, for example. This is also one of the goals. And behind this, then capitals. And capitals, you could consider them as resources. So what we would like to focus on is how you in the region, what kind of resources do you have? How do you utilize them? How do you exchange them with each other? And these resources can be of different nature. Simply speaking, your skills, whether it's education or digital skills, your monetary investments, how much do you have to invest in these things, but also the general relationship between yourself, the level of trust in partnerships, etc. So this is what we like to measure throughout the project stage. And how we would like to do this in more detail is to have universal KPIs that apply to each and every region, and also the services, that we have an overview of the project. But in addition, and this is what I'm here for today, is that we also would like to have some KPIs that are really supporting you and your special focus in the project, whether it's on services or also ongoing initiatives in the region already. And this is what I would like to find out today. But first of all, a little bit more explanation on how we want to measure the goals, the capitals or resources. There come different layers into play. What I have been working on in the last month is this one. Anna and Birgit have been so kind and helped me on that. They sent a bunch of materials on strategy policy documents. This can you find here. These are these visions that are actually more or less always also in line with European Green Deal, digital agenda, etc. So this is on a very abstract level, and this does not give me a right feeling, but what is of your interest at TERA, at the health center of city health care center of Metković, in the municipality, that's still a bit blurred for me. And this is what I would like to find out today. And on the later stages in projects, once the services have been defined, we can take a look at them, or the infrastructure. If we have an IoT platform and we use blockchain or sensors, we can also measure that. And of course, the end users, we can have questionnaires, etc. But this is still a bit, blurred, and this is very much dependent on the progress of the project. So what I would like, this is more or less ticked, the macro policies, but this is big question marks I have today. And I hope to find out a little bit more what you're working on to have this overview, what we also discussed this morning, to get a little bit of idea. And of course, there's a lot of natural interest in this, as also my PhD is on this topic, which I started in parallel with the dRural project. But of course, we also have duties. So we are supposed to deliver some universal KPIs by end of November. And after that, we of course need to have some first measures to have an initial measurement. So in order to measure the change you mentioned, Ivana, we of course need to have a starting point. And this will all come in the next months and years. But for now, I'm really here to understand your local context. And this is what this last presentation slide is actually also about. So I'm here especially for this part, understanding the local context. I'm interested in your initiatives. What is going on already? What is there? What is probably missing? And how is it in your own perception performing? And it's like it already has been said, what is discussed here, it stays here. If you think that, oh, we could work on that, we could improve that, okay, we will see how, but we will not distract fingers on anyone. It's really about supporting each other. Probably what we may also hopefully get some idea of is the local desires. So what is also in your interest, what is probably missing, and the key actors behind this. So behind the municipality and especially TERA, with your digitization of SMEs, for example, are there probably certain ones that we can also contact in the next months? Do we have some ideas on that? This comes into play with these engaging local actors. So this is all in the time frame of the project. No worries that it's not up to date. But this is how our idea is on achieving this impact we all desire in the end. Okay, so this was a little bit of context. And now what the workshop will be about. There will you come into play to provide some input. And how I would like to generally discuss this is on basis of the rural arenas. Andrea from Boundaryless this morning already explained that. So we are not only focusing on the 2 services you have in mind, which are super advanced in their explanation on the local farmers market and the virtual waiting room for healthcare, but we will also take into account tourism. And I had a fruitful discussion also this morning already. How do you deal with these cruise ship tourists? They go to Dubrovnik and go into this town and it influx the city center, the old town. But how could you probably attract them also to the Neretva region? Same for the transport, the mobility. I heard you are building some kind of bridge.
Yes.
But,
Some kind of bridge.
yeah,
The bridge.
The bridge. Yeah, but this is what I also just found out this morning, and this is why it's so fruitful in my eyes to be here to talk with you, to get into this conversation.
Actually, Chinese are great building the bridges.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is very valuable because I can read loads of documents and I could sit at home developing KPIs by myself from these documents, but this is not what I wish for. I would really like to have a collaboration from the start of the project and not at the end. This is, yeah, the idea behind it. And yeah, of course, business development that comes into play with this digitalization of SMEs, for example, local entrepreneurs, and e-government. These are for all 4 regions currently, these arenas, how we call them, together with Boundaryless, who named them like this. What we see in the beginning, these are the areas of action, if you like. These are flexible. This can be extended by the project and could just have a start to work on something. And the workshop, how it would be in general, I would like to have 3 steps, and we can be very flexible time-wise, just an idea, also have breaks in between. But I would ask you that each and everybody of you, from your own perspective, you can also work in groups, write down these kind of initiatives, projects, objectives you have. You can work in groups or individually, that's up to you. Then I would ask you to write down it on Post-its. In the meantime, I will present 1 poster for each of these arenas and hang them on the wall. And in the second step, I would ask you to cluster your ideas to the most arena you think it was most fit. Sometimes it could have like both, especially tourism, agriculture. We have really nice food here, and this also attracts tourists. So it doesn't matter if it's doubled. It's just rather the idea to have 6 next to each other and to then have a picture. Okay, what is already a lot of initiatives and where are probably gaps and how could we form a support this? This is the idea of the mapping. And then we can have a plenary brainstorm discussion, which again is very flexible in time and very up to you about your ideas. Where you see the needs are, where should we probably focus on first? What actors should we focus on first to get this whole idea of impact identification started? Yeah, that's basically it.